Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time with Coach Ja. Man, I am your host, Coach Ja. Listen, it is a beautiful day, even though the clouds are blocking the sun from giving us the heat that we would love to, well, that I love to have, because some of y'all like the cold. I just am not a fan of the cold. But it's a beautiful day, right? We're here. We're able to talk and share time and ask each other how did we morning, like my brother say. My brother said, my brother AJ, he says every in the morning, he says, "How do you morning?" And I really really love when he says that I don't know, for some reason it resonates differently with me. How did you morning, instead of just saying good morning? How did you morning? That was cool. And so I'm hoping that everyone. What's up, V, in the building? And my people's over here on IG that's on right now. Let me shout out. Emmanuel Cole, Miss Melancholy, Blood Brother Mike, AJ Ward is in the building. AJ Word artist. That's his own name. I don't know why I say AJ Ward. I'm thinking about the boxer. But AJ in the building, man. Me and AJ had an amazing show yesterday. If you have not watched it, it is on YouTube 10 times now. You can find it on my YouTube page. You can find it on AJ's IGTV. It's also on my IGTV. Please feel free to check in and check out the vibes. Tell us what you liked, what you disliked. Tell us what you had some concerns or issues about, and tell us how we can improve it. Because that platform is a platform for us to actually have real conversations between adults, and conversations that make sense. And we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do poetry. We did some poetry on it. We're gonna find a way to bring guests on while we're on, and all those things. It's gonna be really good. And the idea that we have behind that is just what about this moment? What is it so important about this moment? And everything is important about this moment, because this moment is everything, right? Until the next moment comes. And this no moment is set up to make sure that the next moment that's coming has its rightful place. And when we start looking at it like that, we understand that every moment is very important, and what you're doing in those moments are very important. And so um, I decided that today I wanted to spend time talking about writing and creative writing. Brooklyn in the house, what's good, and things like that. And so today is a real interactive moment for us all, because those of you who are writers here and those of you who are readers as well, let's talk about some of the things that we enjoy most about writing. Let's talk about how we fell in love with writing. Let's talk about those things, right? And the beautiful things that we learn within our writing, and um, how to move forward with our writing. I input phone audio onto the computer to be able to hear the IG guest live. Oh, V, that's a good idea. Now I got to figure out how to do that. So if you can show me that, I will do that. That's great. That's a great idea. I like that idea. And I don't really know that I know how to do that, but I'm sure you can kind of tell me. And so if you would be so kind to do so, that would be great. That would be super super great. A closed caption and all that stuff, I'm guessing, is what what we need to do. So yes, I would love to do that. V. So show me how to do that. If you are on IG, I would like to ask if you could interface. I'm going to set. So I'm going to set up the whole setup too, because I have an interface that. But I need to figure out how to put all that together. So V, let's have that conversation. If you're on IG, I'd like to ask if you could um, go on to either Facebook or go on to YouTube, in order to type in when you have questions or you have comments and things that you want to talk about. That this is harder to read on the smaller print when I'm on the large screen too. So if we can do that, that would be great. Or if someone in I that's on both platforms could kind of sum up what they're trying to say in their questions about writing, if they can put it in here, that'd be great. But I want to talk about all those things. Good morning, Kendra. Good morning, Daybreak. Good morning, Darkman Blues is in the building. What's good? Um, there you go. The interface is your key. Okay, Mike, appreciate it. And so let's talk about writing. Let's talk about the things we enjoy most about writing. Because I want to hear from you all, because this is how it allows me to um, create new platforms of learning and new platforms of exercising things that you already know and do. Okay, man, you appreciate it. And I want to talk about those things. A lot of times we don't get to talk about it. And this is the perfect day. Like, it's what other day is perfect? This is the day that we have to do so. So let us do that today. Yesterday, Shane posted, and I felt I should have posted, and I posted yesterday. This award here, um, and I'll read it for y'all who can't see it. But this award meant so much to me because of what it says. It says, Outstanding Leadership in Arts Award presented to Josh Smalls. And it was 2019, and it was from the Arts Empowerment Project. So thank you for igniting a passion and instilling a purpose at risk youths. And I think because it was for the children, right? Because the sole purpose was to inspire the children, inspire the youth. That really meant a lot for me to get there. Well, I have other awards and plaques and things that I have, and so I think that that one was so important to me because it was for the youth, it was for the children, and I really wanted to. I was really honored to receive that. It really was a good thing for me. Um, so yeah, let's talk. So how do you decide what you're writing on? Let's start the topic off. How do you decide this is what I'm going to write on today? Um, Manuel Cole, appreciate you, bro. Yeah. So if you're going to add your question, add it in here, and then I can read it, and then I can go ahead and answer it or respond to it if I can, because it may be something that I can't respond. But yeah, talk to me. How do you find inspiration when it comes to your writing, and if you don't have someone give you a writing prompt, how do you decide, okay, I'm going to write about turkeys today? Class in session. Well, not really class daybreak. However, good morning, Lauren. Let me hide my stuff. Lauren's in the building. She likes to be looking at stuff to take out my house, TVs and stuff. Not really class in session, but I want to just have a discussion on how we create our writing prompts and how we get ideas. And Lady V said emotional pull, which is always the first. I think for most writers, that's usually the first emotion, first prompts, if you would, to help us start writing what we're emotionally attached to, right? How I'm feeling, or how does an event make me feel, and we attach ourselves to that, and we just start writing from there. So that's a good one, B. Lauren said listening to other poets, which I totally agree with. And another thing about that, Lauren, when you listen to other poets, it kind of trains your ear to listen to other things. You hear things that kind of promote different ideas, different aspects, different tones, right? Because even if I hate to say it, but sometimes poets fall into a category and everybody starts sounding the same. They want to do their poems the same, and we all sound like this one, all sound like that one. I'm not one big for that. Um, I like to have my individual, but I do like I can imitate a lot of different voices, so I can be another person, like maybe a celebrity voice, whatever, or a different accent. I do those well, and so in doing that, I don't mind that, because that's different as opposed to writing and trying to sound like somebody else. But listen to other poets is very, very. I try to encourage people to listen to other poets. I tell them to go on and watch Slam videos. Good morning, Phyllis, and listen to other people, other poets deliver their poems and talk about their poems and stuff like that. I do think that's very important and very helpful. It's a great tool. Treating you in the building. I think, let me see what Manuel says. I think about maybe 1,000 things a second, whichever thought comes across my mind more than twice is the one I end up writing about. Okay, Manuel, I get that, because my mind doesn't stay still, but yeah. Kendra says, I normally go by what I feel and what I need to get out. I also use music or lyrics and songs. That's what's up, Kendra. I can see that. Music, I always write to a rhythm or music in my head. And it helps. Floetically Divine, good morning. And so I do that from time to time too. And I'm always writing with at least a rhythm or melody or something in my mind. It's already there when I begin my writing. Best imitation, I don't know, Kendra. I don't know what my best imitation is. I do different ones, but I like to do different accents. You know what I mean? I like to do Spanish and African accents, and like I might see a movie and see a part, and I might want to do imitate that part. So it just depends. It just depends. And so let me ask you this question. This is a question that, because this is one of the things that I always struggle with. I always struggle with finding a title for my poem, right? And I'll have a poem that'll be written and it's about this and about that. And I have so many untitled poems that I don't know how to title them. So let me ask this question. How do you all decide what your title of the poem is going to be? And do you decide the title before you write the poem? Um, is that a thing? Do you come, okay, the title of this poem is Love After Midnight, right? Or After Dark. And then you write the poem, or you write the poem and then you say, hey, this is the title. I want to ask that question to see what kind of answers we get from that. Emmanuel said, I want to start writing to music. Yeah, Emmanuel, I write to more jazz than anything, right? But I can have YouTube up and running and have poet, just listening to slam poetry the whole time and be writing a poem. And then I can listen to a tone of someone else that's actually doing their piece and write my poem with their voice, with that tone in my head. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's I do that a lot with what's Ebony Stewart. She has quite a few poems that I can listen to the way she delivers the poems, and I can write to that. So I get it. Yeah, I generally do it after I had already written it. Right, Sam? So I do too, and I still struggle trying to find titles. Like I don't always have titles. I don't always have titles. I fight to get those titles. Treatings Me says, by the overall concept, and sometimes I have to have the title first. Okay, I got that. Sam says, for me, title is not a hard thing. It just comes in my head and just go with the first thing that comes across my mind. Okay, Sam, that's what's up. It's a struggle for me. I'll admit it. It's a struggle. And I think I just want to, it's more, I guess, for me, is this title given the poem? Is this title fitting for the body? You know what I mean? Like if you put a hat on that doesn't match the uniform, then it's like, do you really wear that hat, or do you have to find a new one? What did Mike say? Mike said title. If I have an idea of where the poem is going, then I use the title as the base. Otherwise, I find the main subject once it is written, or pull the line from it. Okay, I got you, Mike. I'll pull a line from title. Yeah, I get that. And that's probably what I have to do. Like, but it's like for me, I'm not looking at the title. It's me. I'm just going, and wherever I end up, you know what I mean? And then I'll find a title somewhere down the line. If I title, it's afterwards. If I title before, I feel boxed. So like, right, Kendra, that's what I'm saying. So like, and I'm wondering, is that a thing, or is that just me? Like, if I get the title, then I have to keep referring to the title in the poem instead of letting the poem breathe. And I guess that's my fear of locking myself into this title, and the poem is stretching well beyond the title. So that's exactly how I'm feeling about that. Yeah. Daybreak says, I title my poems after. Okay, Daybreak with the I. Look how she's read I. I got you. V says, it depends on the message I want to convey. I can start with what I want to leave the audience with, or have the title and write the poem. Got you, V. Got you. Got you. And right, Kendra, all brains work differently. And that's what I think I want to start having this conversation about writing once a week, maybe. I'm gonna designate the show to that once a week, so we can have this kind of conversation. Because a lot of times people, we have ideas that help others, right? And then sometimes we have the answers to our own questions. We just need to say it. We just need to say it. Poetically Divine says, poem before the title. Once completed title, the piece by my interpretation of the piece. A lot of mine are untitled. Yeah, a lot of mine are untitled too. When I go through my Google Doc, and then it's funny because when I want to read a poem, I have to go through and then I have to type in something that I know that's in the poem, and I type that in the search bar, and then boom, it pops up, which also is good to show you how much you use the same language in your poems, because that's another thing that a lot of people struggle with. And let me ask that question. Let me pose that question. Do you as a writer, is it a challenge for you to not use the same wording, right? A lot of my poems have magic in it, right? It has music. It has I always use this phrase, it sounds like, right? Sounds like I use that a lot. And so do you find is there a challenge for you to stop using the same words, the same patterns? Is that a challenge for you? And if so, um, what are some of the obstacles? What are some of the answers to that solution do you have that you would share? Like, how do you get yourself out of that? AJ said, "What if we looked at titles as merely a frame for the pictures we are painting? The title can be a letter. Oh, AJ, I miss you. Title can be a letter. The only reference to the letter is the deer. Yeah, I can't. So the wording is being kind of cut off when I have the screens up like that. So if you can, AJ, if you can put it in the YouTube, then I'll read it online for everybody to get, because I don't want to mess up what you were saying. I don't want to mess that up. So if you're on here and I don't read your comment on IG, I'm not ignoring you. It's just kind of hard to read the small print. I needed another shirt on, I guess a darker color shirt, but with the background, it's kind of rough to see that. Mike said once a week is good as long as with what you and AJ about to be doing the show. Yeah. And give a topic to write on once a week. So Daybreak, we're going to work on that. I am going to two things that's going to happen that I want y'all to understand. I'm going to do a master class, and then I'm going to do a writing prompt grouping. The master class always leads to the being in the book, within the book. The writing prompt session I'm going to do is going to differ from the master class, which is only going to be writing prompts. And then what I want to do with that is we'll do the writing prompts, and then we'll do a live to actually read those prompts. And I may do them on this same platform. I may still do that and allow you to, so that people who want to have it on YouTube, they can share it. And I may do that just for the sake of doing that on here. So I can bring up one at a time, do your piece, and then we can go on and move forward. And so depending on how many people we have and how many people want to share, we can do that like that. So I'm really considering that, but I want to do that pretty often. And AJ wants to do what you said last night. He wants to do it's not a writing prompt, but it's a living prompt is what a living prompt is, I think what he said. And I'll have him explain that again if you didn't see the video last night. But it's an amazing idea. But I'm going to start up the Zooms. And like I said, I'm going to make it affordable, because I don't, especially so the writing prompt ones that I'm going to do, that one will be affordable because that's not going to be in a book. The one that the master class is that. So the master class, I cannot make the master class. I can't give it to you. I would love to, but I can't give it to you because there's a lot that goes into that. And like I told people before, the master class, it comes for editing, formatting, book cover. There's a lot of things that go into putting a book together. And what I want to do is partner up with some publishing companies. Like I know AJ has one, Kim B. Miller has one, and actually Granny's Boys are about to start our own publishing company. But I want to partner up with some Black-owned publishing companies, and let's collectively build a community on basis of what we actually do. So that's some things that's in the works too. And so the writing prompts are coming, all those things are coming, but I want you to understand there's a lot that goes into it. And I want people to be serious. Like I don't, even if it's just your leisure that you're writing in, I want you to, give me that time, give me your timing, designate some time for that and really push through your writing. I'm looking forward to that. So I want to see some great things happen from writers. I want you to expand. I want you to grow. And now that, doing this coaching full time, I'm learning some things. I'm learning how to help you find your ways to edit in those poems that you're stuck with. And I can't move past, I don't know what to do next. One-on-one is actually showing me, I'm learning new things from different clients that I have that are challenged with different situations within their writing. And I want to help you get that. I want to help you reach those goals. But, like I said, I'll make it. if one person is paying for it, it's expensive. If several people across the board are paying for it, it gets less expensive because it gets to stretch. And so I'm not going to be a millionaire from that, but at the same time, let's take care of business. So business is always that, and be respectable and responsible for that. And if I can help you, then I'll help you through that. But I think it's going to be good morning, Tony. I think it's going to be really, really dope what I'm putting together for you guys. If you've been in any of my workshops, you've been in a master class, you already know. But the prompts are going to be different, and I'm excited about it because there's some things that I've thought about and I've written down that I want to share and see how other people are going to work through it. So that's going to be pretty dope. Mike says same wording depending on your style. Actually, Ja, the way you use yours, where you place the words, the magic. And see, right, Mike. And the thing is, because I've been around performance poetry for so many years, I can hear a thing that another writer may not hear, who doesn't have that experience. And so I try to incorporate what I've learned, what I've heard, what I've been taught. I incorporate that in helping people move to the next level because I saw how it was able to help me. And what I do is I just make it in a language that I make it in a language that a sixth grader can understand it. And so a lot of times you go to workshops and people who have been on a collegiate level, they teach on a collegiate level. Well, here's the thing about that. I may understand what you're saying, but it might not register with me because I'm not been reading on a collegiate level for a long period of time. And my writing may be really dope, but it may not be on a collegiate level. So I'm not getting that understanding. And I've personally been in workshops with people that, that I admire, and I admire their work, but their workshops were confusing to me and I didn't know exactly what they were getting at. So for me, I try to keep my workshops on elementary, middle school grade level for the understanding part of it, because you're going to write on whatever level you're on and not realize that I'm teaching it on a basic level for you to understand. And that's, if all of you who are thinking about being a workshop facilitator, think about that. Like, everybody's not on the same level. However, if you can keep it in a level that it's easy to understand, then they will write on levels well beyond what you're giving it, but their understanding of how you're teaching it is going to help them move forward. And that's something that we need to practice on as facilitators. It's very important that we do that. Emmanuel says he's down for it. Yes, living prompts. Living prompts is AJ's idea. It's not my idea. So I will make sure that's clear. AJ said that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start those. Don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m., 4 p.m. Pacific time. I think it's Pacific time, right? We're Eastern, that's Pacific. Yeah, that part. You might not be a millionaire, but if we promote your classes in our books, then you make the money of those who come. But absolutely, Mike. And here's my point. Let me sip some coffee. Cheers to that, Mike. What I've decided with the way, and I'll give you guys a few tidbits today too. What I decided for me, it's important for me to be an educator in the way that I know how to educate people. And children don't read, and adults don't read, and we don't. I have, I have books that I need to read. I need to reread. I have books I need to begin reading them that I hadn't gotten to. But I'm a writer, so it doesn't give me a pass, right? But it does allow me to say I am doing some form of reading. But unless you're reading other people's work and other people's writing, you're not going to, it may not help you find the new ideas and new wording. I find new words listening to other people, right? And then I'm like, oh man, I forgot about that word, and I write that word down. And so it helps you when you're doing the reading. What I realize is with my work, I realize that there's a level that people want to achieve. And I have a way of helping them reach that level by helping them understand that, this is where you are only because you don't see that there's an opening in the clouds. Don't worry about shooting for the clouds. Let's go past the clouds. And so if you aim is to go past the clouds, and when you reach the clouds, guess what? It makes it that much easier because you're already focused to going past that. I want you to shoot through the clouds. I want to be able to sit you down in a workshop and you take whatever level that you're on at this point, and you're able to maneuver through those storms that you believe are holding you here. You can go outside in the storm. You just need to have your right equipment on, right? Doesn't mean that the tornado is going to pick you up. Doesn't mean the hurricane is going to blow you away. Doesn't mean that a typhoon is coming in or tsunami is coming in to wash you away. But you have to go into the storm with the right equipment on. You have to be prepared. And so when you're looking at what your ideas are as far as a writer and what your goals are, write them down. Hey, I want to have a bestseller. That's an idea. I encourage you to write down, I want to be a millionaire from my writing, but I want you to understand that writing books is not going to make you a millionaire. It's the work that you put in after the book is written that makes you a millionaire. And you can become a millionaire as a best writer, as a best author, and top seller and all those things. But there's work to be done. There's another thing we'll talk about today too. There's work to be done within that, and a lot of us don't understand that. And I am still learning. It's still a learning process for me. No one taught me, hey, you get a book and these are the things you need to be done. These are the things you have to do. No one taught me that. I had to learn that on my own. And in learning that, I was able to, start to grow in different directions, and I'm still doing that. A living prompt is offering an escape from the normal process of penning thoughts or a poem, making it applicable to life and the things we go through. That's what I'm talking about, AJ. And that's why I said this is AJ's idea, not mine, because this is what he decided, is what he came up with. And I loved it. I said, yes, do it. Let's do it, brother. I'm here for it. Let's do it. If James Peterson makes buku money by targeting people that don't read, we as poets can do the same thing. Emmanuel, and I'm going to say this to you. You said a mouthful. And here's what I told my brother Witz. I said, you can't get rich off of $5 people. What I mean by $5 people who are always willing, they'll give you $5. It would take you so long to get rich off of people that will give you $5, unless they're just giving it to you every time they get 5, right? And so when you're creating an idea for them, the idea is not to worry about $5 people, but if you are interested in those $5 people, how do you change their mindset from being a $5 person? How do you teach them to think opposite of all I have is 5? And so if you can teach them to think differently, then you can help them become bigger than a $5 person. I'll say it like this. I'm a $5 person now. Okay. If I'm a $5 person, that means in my mind, I can give you 5, but I can't give you 25. Well, I need to weigh how much I'm getting for that 25. And if 5 is going to get me here and then I can't get past that, then my mind, my mentality, my thought process needs to change, because I have to understand that $5 is only going to get me but so far. Think about it. You put $5 in your car, you can drive, but I mean, if I put 25, I'll see you later. You're going to have to make a stop somewhere else again. It's the long run. And when you teach people to think outside of their $5 idea, that $5 mentality, it makes a difference. James Peterson and Stephen King have a host of writers staffed helping them with the books they write. Thank you, AJ. I was going to that next. I want y'all to understand something too. You can write a gazillion books, right? You can put out a book every month if you have the time to do so. The idea is, what do you do when you have the book? What do you do when you have the book? Who's your target audience? How are you marketing these things? Do you have budgeting for marketing? A lot of poets, a lot of writers and authors, that's our biggest thing. We don't have budgeting for marketing. We don't have marketing strategists. Stephen King, James Peterson, all these movie writers and all these things, they have marketing teams. They have people who are there that are backing them and helping them with their marketing. And that's basically what AJ is saying. Don't be surprised when you find out, okay, this might have been my story and I own it, but I got 5 or 6 other people that's writing in this here, that's helping along the way. And then I have a team of marketers and influencers that are pushing my product. Why? Because they have a stake in it. You know what I'm saying? Now, you get paid the majority because you're the owner of said project. However, there are people that are in line that get paid along the way, because that's what this. This sounds amazing. I'm excited. I'm ready to sign up. Floetically Divine. That is awesome. What I'm suggesting people do is, because I'm going to post about it, I'm going to set it up and put it in a way, because I don't want to. Here's what I want. Here's what I want to see happen. All of those who say they are writers and want to become better writers and want to be in my workshops and want to join along with the different things that I'm doing as far as helping writers move to the next level. I want those folks to say, hey, listen, call up 15 of your friends and say, listen, I'm serious about my writing. I'm trying to grow. I want you to sponsor me to be in this workshop. And so you might have only $5, but you're thinking outside of a $5 person. If you can get 20 people to send you money to help sponsor you, they sponsor you to do something that you want to do. And it doesn't have to even be people that you love and talk to. I don't care if you go on Facebook and post it. But the idea is, I'm going to give you the quality stuff. But how do we get you to get the quality that you want, and get people and find those that love you and care about you and friends that want to see you grow? Hey, listen, help me get here. You don't have to get. I'm not charging you $800 to come to a workshop. In fact, and I'll say it now, the prices that I'm going to for the next level that I'm going to, I don't expect any of you to pay me that price, but in the group, yes, I expect that, and then there will be no return from that, right? You can once the next process takes its course, this becomes a new thing. In fact, I'm hoping to contract some of the work to some of you guys to actually do some of the work that I'm going to be doing, because I won't be able to handle it, but at the same time, I want you to be able to feed your families. I don't want you to keep, okay, I did a workshop and I made $100. Listen, that's not money. That's not money. If you do 3 workshops in a day and you got $300, it's not bad. But hell, that might only pay your car payment. They didn't pay the insurance. It didn't pay. Didn't pay the light bill. You wasn't able to buy groceries. And so what I'm saying is, I want you to take your work, the thing that you love, and make that your priority, and treat it as such. Don't nickel and diamond is out the game. Nickel and diamond is out the game, and you're not going to make it nickel and dime in your business. You have to make your business grow, and your business have to say, hey, when you go on Walmart, even whether the lowest prices or not, that's the price. You can't negotiate it. But you take it behind and then you buy it, and that's it. And you negotiate. Okay, well, I can't get this, but I'll get that, and maybe I'll get this week, and I'll get that. Your budget. That's how you work your budget. Your business is the same way. When people come in there, they should go a la carte. Okay, I can do this. I can do that. I can't do this week, but I'll do these. And the next time I come around, I'll do those. That is how you should set up your business. Your books, the same thing. Okay, this is my price for my books. Now, I may be able to waive. If you buy all 3 of my books, I may be able to waive your mailing fees. I may be able to waive the postage, but I can't keep telling, okay, oh, don't worry about it. I'll send you a book for free, and I'll send it to you for this big discount. I can't do that all the time, but you do it. And there's nothing wrong with you wanting to do that, having the desire to do that, but that's not business. And your friends and families and people love you. They should see it as such. I've in the beginning, I would say, okay, listen, I'm going to discount this for you for buying that. And I had people say, no, you can discount in hell. I decided it. I'm paid for it. Here go the money. Here go the money. In fact, AJ hit me up before I really even knew who AJ was. AJ sent me money for books, and then he sent me his books, and then I sent him the damn money back. You know what I'm saying? I sent it back. And so that's how you have to look at business as a writer, as an author. I got another service that I'm putting out there. I got a few things that I'm doing that I'm putting out there for people, and I want people to understand. Your business is that. Keep it as such. If you tell me your business is $2 and somebody tell me their business is $7, I'm going to automatically think that they have a better product than you have, because you didn't put the price value to your product. $2 mean to me is either on sale or it's not up to par. You know what I'm saying? It's like buying what you call that? That little what do you call them? Little small bar cars, the Hyundais and all. Or you can buy a Hyundai, or you can buy a Mercedes Benz, or a Porsche, or Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, that means you got to have more money. But let's think about it. If you can afford a Lamborghini, 9 times out of 10, you might not buy the Hyundai, but you're gonna at least get a Honda Accord or something that you know is gonna go. But if all your money's gonna make you buy that, and that's may not be the best car, may not have the best ratings, especially compared to this other car, I'm gonna think about that. You know what I mean? It's gonna make sense to me. I'm gonna spend the money on the thing that's going to last. If I had the money to buy any car I want right now, to be honest with you, right in this moment, right now, I'd buy a Honda Accord. You know why? You don't see them on the side of the road. I might not buy a Subaru, but you don't see Subarus on the side of the road either. But it's the mentality. I don't need a Mercedes Benz to get me from here to there. I just need a car that's reliable and look good and smell good and good on gas. You know, I don't need to have that. But if I have the option to do that, would I buy Mercedes Benz? I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I need that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I need that right now. In fact, I'll tell you the funny thing about me. I don't have a dream car. I don't have like, oh, I would love to have this kind of car. I have a dream home, right? How I want my home to look. And I'll give you that. I'll tell you this off subject, but my home, I want the back of my home to be ceiling to floor windows with a tint. And so you can't see in, but I can see out. And also, when it's raining and so on, I can see the storm coming in. I want to be able to see the ocean from my sofa. I want to be sitting on my sofa like this with my coffee and whatever else I want, and be able to see outside from my sofa. And so, you know, ideas like that. I want to walk from my bedroom in my bed. I want to get up from my bed. I want to have a jacuzzi in the floor in my bedroom, in my master bedroom. I want to be able to jump in my jacuzzi first thing in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a dream house, but a dream car I don't have. I'm not superficial in that aspect. I don't have that. But a dream home, that's a different story. Let me read some of his comments. Mike said, Motown has staff of writers, but Barry kept the bulk of the money. Absolutely, Mike. Motown, if you look at Motown, they did the little mini documentary thing, and they talked about it. Motown was a competition. They would compete on who wrote the best songs, and that's how. I can't remember all of the names. I know Smokey, you know, Marvin Gaye was there, Barry. There was a crew of people who did certain writing. I can't remember the name. It was two brothers that were on they had their own company that was a part of Motown, and they branched off. They wrote big songs for big people. There's a lot of people that's how that works. And it's you need a team. You need a team. Curtis Mayfield did 99% of the writing. That's what's up, Mike. Create a GoFundMe to pay. Mike, you crazy. Emmanuel said, I treat my work like dope. I got good. Emmanuel is crazy. I appreciate that one too, Emmanuel. My dream car is one I like and it's paid off. That's it. That's it, AJ. I feel you. So you basically want a Florida room in the back of your no, Mike. I want a South America home. I want a home in Africa where I'm seeing blue ocean. I don't want to live in Florida. You can keep Florida. I want to move out of the country. In fact, I want to have my office set up in my house outside of this country where I'm doing my workshops virtually and have a giant screen TV and a projector. And you can see all of that stuff. I can see all that stuff being a thing for Kimball and Huff. That's it. That's it, AJ. That's it. Norman Whitfield and Holland. Those. That's it. See, now y'all talking. See, y'all youngins might not know these people, but they was the Motown writers, and they would be in competition, man. They would be throwing down writing songs to try to beat the next one so these songs can make it. And that's how Motown grew to be that amazing entity that it had grown to be. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And so, but with writing becomes a new thing, and branding. We need to teach about branding. How do you brand your work? and how do you make that staple so that people will know when they put this in um, their Instagram or their Google search, they know who they're going to see and who's coming up. We have to work on those things, and so with the masterclass, that is part of that. And I'm turning over the book to Kim B. Miller. If you are in here and you were in the masterclass, the first one, and you have not submitted your work in one Google Doc, I suggest you get it to me ASAP. I'm going to post about that because I'm getting ready to turn this over to Kim B. Miller, and so we can move to the next process. We got the editing process is going to be done right away. Good morning, Brandon. And we are going to be looking at putting this book out, and my brother Woods and I have a book coming out too next month. And then when my daughter is born on the 29th, we are going to put her book out right after that. And so if you have been in a masterclass, please, I suggest you send all of your, and not the erotic workshop, but the masterclass where I was giving all the prompts, that class, everything that you have that is complete, doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, or 6 poems, whatever it is that's complete. I suggest you send me that so I can add it into the file, because we're going to start that process right now. I have whoever I have already is already in there, and the ones that are coming up next are going to be there. I want y'all to send me some good vibes because I'm waiting to hear about the residency. Once I get the residency, this goes to a whole nother level. And I can't wait for that. That's going to be a whole nother thing. That's going to be beautiful. And I can't wait for that, man. The residency I'm very excited about that and preparing for that and all that's going to entail. But the project that I'm planning to do from the residency is going to be super great. And I'm really, 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 really looking forward to that. Gamble and Huff had staff writers at Philly International like Bunny Singler, McFadden, and Whitehead. Yes, McFadden and Whitehead and others whose names escape. Right, Mike. That's what I'm talking about. Now that's old school stuff right there. And that's when a time when not only did the music and the words, you can take one or the other and live with it. Right? You can have just the instrumental and live with that. The instrumental is so dope. And then the words on top of that, separate from that. Appreciate it, Mike. I'm going to put that up there. Mike said, Ja, you got the residency. It's done. Yes, sir, brother. I accept that. I received that. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm really excited about what's going to come from that and what's stemming from that. I have a select group that I need for this particular project. And I had this elite group that, oh my God, I'm so excited about it that it overwhelms me almost. And I know that I want y'all to understand the thing about me. I grew up in a family that was about empowering our people and teaching our people and giving a history. And history books now are not teaching that they made our ancestors slaves. History books are teaching that our family came here willingly, that this is what they're putting in history books now, according to some research some folks have done. The part about slavery, they're doing this to it. And so we're going to miss so much. The younger generation are going to miss so much from that. In addition, Rod Temperton, I think that name sounds familiar, AJ. I just recently found out that in Africa, their books are saying that we were willing to come to America and that we were supposed to come back home after a few years. This is what they are teaching about what they've done to our people. And I want everybody on there to listen to this. They've been teaching Africans that because there's always been why Africans never came for us, why they never came to help us, why they never came to help us, why they never came to help us. And when you look at that, and then you wonder why some Africans feel a way towards us being born here. The education, what they're lying about, the lies are the reason we're so divided from our homeland. If you're on here and your idea is we weren't all from Africa and somewhere here, if that's your mentality, I'm not upset with you. I'm not upset with you. I'm just not that comfortable with that. Yes, some of us were here. I agree with that totally. We were all over. It was not a place we weren't, except in the Caucasus Mountains. We weren't there. Okay. And if you're not knowing what I mean by the Caucasus Mountains, just go ahead and research the Caucasus Mountains and who are the people of those mountains and who lived there and what they look like and what they were before they escaped from that area. Okay. Off of that subject, I'm going to get back to us because we were everywhere. And when you say that, you're not that, first of all, you don't know that you didn't come from those folks over there. You don't know that. Secondly, it's a disrespect to those that came before you who might have studied what you have not studied yet. And sitting there saying that is a total disrespect to those folks. So I'm not going to accept that, and I'm not going to entertain that. We were here, yes, before they came here, but not all of us. Okay. And so I want us to understand that they have been telling the lie that we were willing to come here, not that they kidnapped us and done the things they've done. They never told that story. They never told that story. Had they told it, we would know who the hell we were. And so I want you to understand that if we don't teach this younger generation, that means our great grandchildren will never know of it. They will never know of it. And so how do we keep that here in a way that they want to read it? Because they don't want to read as it is now. Hip hop was the way, but no longer, because hip hop don't talk about that. Not this new hip hop. It does not speak to those things. And I'm not bashing hip hop. I'm away from bashing those who are not in an understanding of where I'm at. I'm not going to bash them anymore. I'm going to try my best not to. I don't want to hear it though. But hip hop started with telling those stories, right? Telling you how we got here, how we live here, why we in the conditions we live in, how we became drug addicts and gangbangers. Hip hop talked about how that happened. It's not hip hop today. And so who's going to tell the stories to these children? And I'm telling you, we are in all of you writers. I don't care what level you are on. It is your duty to tell the truth. It is your duty to tell the truth. It's your duty to make sure that somebody picks up your book and can know, okay, this is what happened. Because if we don't do it, it won't be here. It will not be here. It will not be here. AJ said the duty of the poet is to render history naked. Absolutely, AJ. Absolutely. And if we don't do it, poets, writers, songwriters, playwrights, whatever writing you're doing, if you don't do it, what's going to happen to our great grandchildren? What is going to happen with them? They don't want to read as it is. They don't want to. They don't have things that are pulling them to read. They're sick of talking about, and I mean with all due respect, but they're sick of talking about George Washington Carver and the peanut. All they want to talk about is the peanut and AJ. They don't want to talk about the real stuff about Harriet Tubman. AJ said Harriet Tubman walked 800 miles in one direction freeing slaves. One way was 800 miles, right, AJ? So she had to come back 800 and then go back 800 again. Hell, half of y'all can't walk to the grocery store and make it. You can't walk to the grocery store and make it. In New York City, we call it the supermarket. That's right, Floetically Divine. They're slowly erasing that. And we're doing nothing about it. We're doing nothing about it. I'm challenging you writers. I'm challenging you authors. And this is why I picked a certain group to move with this next project that I'm moving forward. And when this project comes, when this project happens, I'm taking these group of writers into places that we may not even thought about. And I'm doing that for a purpose. I'm doing that for a purpose because if we don't do it, who the hell is going to do it? Nobody's telling our stories, man. Nobody's telling our stories. Nobody's telling our stories, and we can't allow. How you allow somebody to tell your story? That's allowing some. How you gonna allow somebody to come in your house and tell you when you can eat and when you can sit down and how you need to cook and what to watch on your TV and how loud you can play the music, how your thermostat should be up on high on Thursdays, but on Sunday you need to bring it down low. How you let somebody come in your house and tell you that? As a writer belonging to this community, you have a duty to doing that, to fixing those things. We got to teach these children, man. And we got to teach some of these adults so they can teach their children. Listen, when I'm no longer here, I want my children and my grandchildren and my great grandchildren all of them to come behind and say, look, my granddaddy wrote this in the past, and this is stuff we need to learn. I want them teaching babies and adults. I want my books to be in museums and in art classes in universities, and people sitting down and saying, listen, this young black man got these group of writers together, and this is what they did because they wanted you to understand where we came from. Half of these people don't know nothing. And we as writers have a duty, it is our obligation to teach them better than what they have been taught, and tell them the truth and make it blunt. Put it out there, you know? Yeah, teach your daughters about Nat Turner. Yes. Tookie Williams, man, I cried the night they killed Tookie Williams. If you know who Tookie Williams is, look him up. Look him up. I cried, man. That man, he admitted what he started and what he got involved with, and he changed his life. And here you have governors whose fathers was bootleggers and fathers was just niggas and murderers and killers, and they end up presidents. Look at Bush and his daddy. Look at what the hell they did. Look at what Hillary Clinton did. And ain't nobody putting no needle in their arm. They didn't kill more people than Tookie Williams could ever seen in his life. Without reason, without just cause. Look at this government. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to tell our children and our people the truth. We can't, as a writer, that's your duty. As a poet, you're charged to do that. That's what poetry was. In fact, you wouldn't have your religion if you didn't have a poet. Let me say that again. I don't care what religion you practice or confess out your mouth, because half of us don't practice shit anyway. You would not have your religion, your holy text. Yes, it was nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. You would not have for writing children's books. You would not have your religious book that you study if it was not for a poet. Lovely, good morning. Good morning. Lovely, I need to talk to you. I want to get you on my show, my morning show, so call me. You would not have any of your religious books if it wasn't for poetry. In fact, your history you would not have if it wasn't for poets. You think about it when you go back and study who wrote your books. They gathered all the poets together. Come on in here. Sit down. Let's write this book. That's why half of you can't understand the damn scripture you're reading anyway, because you don't understand what the poet was trying to tell you. In fact, that's the way they altered it. Let's just keep that straight, because they want to keep you beat down. And yes, Mike Kennedy, the Kennedys. Okay, in fact, and I'll tell you something about JFK. It's argumentative. JFK was probably the last president we had. JFK was so against the alt-right and all these other mugs. That's why they killed him. That is why they killed him. They said, get this nigga out of here. In fact, JFK, his daddy was a bootlegger, right? JFK was against legalizing gambling and so many different things that he was against. I don't know if he was a senator or governor. I think he was a governor. They basically gave him that to get his ass out of here because he's doing too much. They didn't know he was going to become a president. They did not know he was going to become a president. They thought he would sit in that seat and just be there. Daybreak, you silly. You deciding to walk to the mailbox. They put him in a position, thought he would just stay there and get out the way. They did not see him coming. They did not see him coming. That's right, Mike. He was the last president we had. They changed the game after that. And see, the reason being is because they used to let them presidents run their way. Think about that president. I think it was Johnson, who was like, this is a government for white men. Look that up. Google what president said this is a government for white men. Google that. You want to do some research and Google that and see what he said and see who said it. And then you'll understand the nature of these people. Ask King Solomon, he had beautiful words. Yes, 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 Diamond. And so we are charged as writers, we are charged to mark our history so that it can't be erased. See, they can't, I think he was a governor. You don't think, I don't think he ever, so he must have been a senator. And it was Johnson who said that, right? It was Johnson. And so we need to figure out, how do we make that the idea of constructing our history in language that is told to our people after we're not here, after we're gone, right? How do we do that? I dislike I have to leave this live so much. Floetically Divine, it's okay. Thank you. You know, I tell it like this. We come and we get what we're supposed to have. And love right back at you. We come and get what we're supposed to have. So something that you whatever you came here for, you got it. And don't feel bad because we only got less than 4 minutes anyway. So I'm getting ready to close out anyway. So it's all good. But we come and we get what we're supposed to have. We receive the thing we came for. So I'm thankful that you're here. Thank you for coming. And like I said, listen, I ask y'all, go on YouTube, subscribe, and push on the page so that we can get more people in, like-minded people, because somebody's going to say, listen, I can fund a situation for you to grab these artists and these poets to do these writings. And so that's my goal, to get people who can actually fund this so I can just grab you all and put you in places that you might not have been able to be in. You know what I'm saying? And let's work together. Let's work together. Okay, lovely. And let's work together and let's create what we need to create. Our families after this, right? When we're no longer here and when we return to our essence, right? Our whatever we leave here is what it is. If we leave here a roadmap or some sort of literature that says, hey, listen, you come from this. This is who you are. And then what happens is our people start to believe, wait a minute, hold on, you can't tell me that. This book right here says differently. Now you prove your words to me, because this is what I know. This is what I feel. And we as writers and poets and artists, we're charged to do that. Before they were making money off of being poets and artists, they were actually doing that to educate people, to train people, to heal people. And that's what we need to get back to. That is the essence of what we are here to do. This is why you have the gift that you have. And we need to work on the history. We need to work on the history. Believe it or not, this conversation was the intent of the Black Book of Black. I can believe it, AJ. I can believe it, because I've read the Black Book of Black. Hadn't even finished it yet. I can't even get through it. The Black Book of Black. Generational knowledge. Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. Daybreak said history, not his story. And now it's time to write our story. It's time to put our story on the forefront. Don't worry about it. Leave it, mark it, put it down, and so that it's here for somebody else. Let somebody else take that book someplace else. I want to see your writing on the wall in somebody's museum. I want to see that. I want to see a museum of just with a section that's dedicated to Black poets who write our history. And I want to see some of y'all faces in there and some of y'all names in there. And we can do it. We can do it. We don't need nobody to do it. We have everything we need. Everything we need, we have. Listen, we got less than a minute. I want to thank every one of you for being on here today. As always, man, I love being here. I love sharing moments and time with you all. It's like the time just fly by. We don't have enough time to put it out there. But Mike, I can't make it past Harriet either. I'm still stuck on Harriet. But I'm grateful for you all. I'm grateful for the word. I'm grateful for what the Creator embedded in me to allow me to be here, to share times with you all, to talk like we talk and have this conversation. Remember that our ancestors were never allowed this. Remember that our ancestors were killed and whipped and chained and beat and put in a hot box for having conversations about this very thing we have now. And so with that being said, man, I charge you today to being a better person than you were yesterday. I charge you to challenge your reading, challenge your writing, challenge the things about you to make yourself better. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all on Monday. I may do a live over the weekend. I don't know yet, but thank y'all for being great and amazing. Go out and be great and amazing because nobody can be that but you. I'm challenging you to do so. I love you. Be blessed and have a great day. I will see y'all soon. Peace and love. IG, thank y'all so